If you have something you'd like to talk to Rob about, call us at 866-488-6608.
Welcome back. We're talking to a newlywed couple who's saying their marriage isn't everything they thought it was going to be. I'm here with Pamela Paul. Would you stand up for me? Pamela is the author of The Starter Marriage and the Future of Matrimony. Tell me what a starter marriage is.
Well, a starter marriage is a marriage that lasts for 5 years or less, and it always ends before children begin. But unlike a starter home, nobody goes into a starter marriage thinking, oh, I'm just in this temporarily and then I'll trade up to something better. Everyone goes into it thinking it's going to last for a lifetime. But like a starter home, when you leave that first house and you know, okay, next time I'm going to check the plumbing and make sure the insulation is good, when you leave that first marriage, you've learned such important lessons about what marriage is and what it requires that you're really prepared to get married the second time around and have it last.
Did you have a starter marriage?
I did, yeah.
Are you remarried?
No.
No. You haven't
yet.
had the second one yet?
Not yet.
You're looking for the second one?
Maybe.
Do you feel like you learned from the first marriage things that you'll... I mean, everybody learns from their first marriage if they get remarried, but it almost sounds like a starter marriage. It sounds like it's almost like a good thing. I mean, not good like it's ideal, but good in the sense of good. Like, yeah, you made a mistake, move on.
Well, I think that every divorce is a failure and a tragedy, and I would never encourage people to get divorced, but I do think there are definite upsides to a starter marriage. First of all, people get married and divorced before having children, so that they don't impact another generation. And secondly, they learn really important lessons, and of the people that I interviewed for my book, over 1/3 of them are remarried and say they're so much happier in their second marriages, and they have much more realistic expectations about what marriage requires.
When you're looking at them, do they look like the typical sort of symptoms of the starter marriage?
Well, unfortunately, the trajectory that they followed is very typical of a lot of starter marriages, in that you get married during the sort of heady, oh, we're so in love, let's get married phases, and kind of rush towards the altar before you really get to know the person. And you have this high expectation that, as Christy said, marriage is going to make you happy and you're going to be happily ever after. The truth is that after you get married, you're happy, you're angry, you're annoyed, you're sad, you're everything you were before you got married. You have all the same ups and downs, but you have it for two people. So if anything, life's a lot more complicated after you get married.
Well, we all know that, though. That's not the shocking part. The part is you're talking, but then people get divorced and find another one.
Everyone that I interviewed for my book, and I talked to 60 people who'd been through these starter marriages, said that they didn't regret the experience, that they wouldn't have been who they were, that they don't think they would have been able to have a happy second marriage had they not gone through that first failed marriage.
And had it. Okay, hold on a second. I want to bring someone else into this. This is Joe Beam. Joe, hello. Thanks for being here. You're with a group called Family Dynamics,
That's
which
correct.
I understand you think of as kind of a psycho-educational facility program.
Well, we train people all around America to save marriages, keep them together. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we bring this to Danny and Christy, let me direct it over here to Pamela. Is what she's saying? I mean, certainly she's seeing a trend. Is she right? Not that there's a trend. Is she right in what she's saying? I mean, essentially, these people made the wrong decision. Instead of sticking it out the hard way, left, found a better choice, and are now happier.
Well, I would disagree with that conclusion, obviously, because we believe that you enter marriage with one of two mindsets, either a renting mindset, this is not going to work, I'll find something better, or a buying mindset, this is mine, whatever it takes, we're going to fix it. And I read Pamela's book. It was a very good book. And on page 100, she said that the reason that starter marriages don't work is because of the fact that people don't have the tools, or they're immature, or they entered marriage with the wrong expectations, or felt like they were forced into marriage. I'm saying that's true no matter what age you are, but those tools are available, and it's not unusual for any couple or any person the day after the wedding to say, what have I done?
So when you look at these guys, are they closer to this camp of maybe they've just made the wrong choice, went too soon, or should they work it out?
I'm convinced that not only should they, but they definitely can, based on what I've heard.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Despite their doubts or uncertainties so early?
Sure, absolutely.
You guys nodding your head. Do you think you can?
Definitely.
But they have problems. They're not going to work it out if they don't get over. I mean, she's 3 months in.
Oh, definitely, definitely. First of all, they had different expectations as to what marriage is. That was pretty obvious. But basically what's going on here is if we can help them understand how they can compromise their expectations, they can work all those other things out. Now, she may wind up needing therapy over the boyfriend's guilt, understand? Right. But that won't stop the marriage. It shouldn't make it end at all.
Do you think most of the relationships that she studied could have been fixed because versus they're better off in the next one. Is every marriage fixable?
Well, I'm the eternal optimist. We work with 50,000 people so far. And I'm convinced, based on our experience, experience, I guess, makes you pretty confident, particularly when successful, that every marriage can be fixed if two things happen. One is if you stop the behaviors that are destroying it. You have to do that. And then you start doing the things to make love grow. Because it's not really a marriage that's in trouble, it's a relationship that's in trouble. And if you do the right things, you will learn how to love each other.
Danny, I think you told one of our producers you were basically scared to death that you were going to lose this relationship and would do whatever it took to keep it. Is that accurate?
Definitely.
Yeah? So you are worried it's not going to last if you don't do something different?
Yes.
If things don't change?
Yes. And I don't want to lose it at all. I want to do anything it takes, to keep it.
What does he need to do differently?
Well, the first thing we have to figure out is exactly what's going on here that's not happy for them. Why is she saying, I want out of this, it's too miserable? But it's not that difficult to figure that out. We can do that in a half a day, believe it or not. And then once we figure that out, is say, okay, if this is what she needs, it's her most important emotional needs, and this is what he needs as his most important emotional needs, then make a plan and follow the plan.
Okay.
It sounds simple, but it really does work.
Okay, last thing for you. You have a service that deals with people like this,
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
Can they get help from you?
Yes, we'll be glad to give it to them. Yes.
It don't cost them much?
Nothing. Do it for them.
You'll do it for free?
Yeah.
Would you guys take that? Excellent. Thank you very much. A good man here. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be right back.
These are the offices of Jacoby and Myers and the places we